if you want. Lee, I never get the kind of applause that everybody else that comes in here with me does. Lee and I have known each other over 20 years. We met playing softball in Hillcrest when I had just moved to Little Rock and was looking to find some friends my age and people that would actually talk to me, which was a much bigger challenge than you might expect. And shortly after, Lee became one of my very best friends. She was a year ahead of me at Central, and she was with me for all of my best memories and maybe a few of my not so good ones as well. We may or may not have gotten into a little trouble together, and I'm pretty sure got grounded on numerous occasions by her parents who are here today. And now Lee and I are adults raising our own kids. 20 years later, we're in the same city, and she's even the godmother to my son Huck. Lee is a mom with 3 beautiful kids that are friends with my kids. And I know that both of our families are equally annoyed when we break into the Little Rock Central alma mater. But Lee isn't here because she's one of my best friends. She's here because she's one of our state's best experts in education. Lee was a teacher for 2 decades, working as an early childhood specialist right here in Little Rock. Her students see her as a hero. I actually went back to read to her class several times, both when I was at the White House and after, and her students were not impressed at all by my job at the White House, but they were impressed by the fact that I was friends with Miss Keener. Lee is a leader among her fellow teachers. She served on the Little Rock School District Board and helped them develop a new science curriculum. When we were crafting Arkansas Learns, she lent her expertise to our early learning working group. And just 2 years ago, she earned a certificate in early education leadership from Harvard's Graduate School of Education. Though she'll be out of the classroom in her new role on the Board of Education, Lee brings both the local knowledge and the national perspective that we need, especially as our state enters a new era with Arkansas Learns. Alongside Ken Bragg, whom I appointed to the board last month, Lee will help us implement all the amazing changes Learns has made for our schools and our students. That includes raising teacher pay, investing in literacy, and expanding education freedom to every single family in Arkansas. I can't think of a better, more qualified person to lead the charge. I know I can trust her with my own kids, and I know that I can trust her with all of Arkansas's kids and with our state's future. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you to Lee and her family for taking on this new challenge. You're gonna do amazing. We're so proud of you. Lee, come up here and say a few words.
Well, thank you so much, Governor, for the kind introduction, and more importantly, for your fierce commitment to Arkansas's children. It is an absolute honor to even be considered for such a role. Watching you work to create transformative change has been inspiring, to say the least. I'm honored to be a part of education during this important and exciting time. Now, this will come as no surprise to those of you that know me, but occasionally I can get a little overzealous about early learning. When I get on one of my soapboxes, my family and friends have learned to quickly change the subject. And no one is more adept at this than my patient and kind and devoted family, my husband Justin, and our 3 children, twins Laura Beth and Harrison, and our youngest Luke. In fact, they just wrapped up a busy final week of summer. The boys just finished up golf camp, and Laura Beth just finished up at cheer camp. Now, I look out, and I realize that you two are trapped. So if you'll give me just a minute or 2, or maybe 5, I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. One of my priorities as I step into this role is to ensure that every child in Arkansas has access to high-quality early learning. When families entrust their children into the care of others, either by choice or necessity or some combination of both, they are temporarily giving away a piece of themselves. Families need to know that their children are more than just physically safe when in the care of others. We need to know that our children are emotionally safe as well, that every interaction between our children and their caregivers is kind and positive, respectful, and supportive. But even that isn't enough. Arkansas's early learning centers must also prepare our students for kindergarten. Now, Justin and I understand this firsthand, as we once found ourselves with 3 tiny children under 3. The governor and the first gentleman understand that as well. We don't remember much from that crazy time in our lives, but we will never forget Miss Jackie and Miss Shawn and Miss Destiny and the patience and love and care that they showed for our children and for the two of us while we were busy at work. As a member of the State Board of Education, I want to guide policy that supports early learning, and I promise to do that with 3 deeply held beliefs in mind. First and foremost, families are the first and most influential educators in any child's life. Secondly, early learning should be based on the science of child development. And third, children's learning happens in 2 critical ways. 1, in the active and playful discovery of their environment, and 2, in the meaningful interactions between their caregivers and their peers. After all, kindergarten readiness means so much more than being able to walk in a line or sit for a lesson. It means language acquisition, vocabulary development, and a deep understanding of the world around us. It means being able to say, "Ooh, this worm is wiggly," or "She's my favorite character," or "Our tower needs 3 more blocks." But it also means being able to say, "Can I have a turn when you're done?" Or, "It made me sad when you said that." It means concepts about print, problem-solving skills, and the social and emotional learning necessary to learn and work with their peers, both in kindergarten and beyond. I deeply believe that high-quality early learning is the most effective way to see lasting change in Arkansas's education. As a board, we will drive policy to support the development of this critical workforce, support directors in their efforts to offer competitive salaries, and support families by helping to increase their access to high-quality, affordable options in their area. This is how we boost the percentage of students reading at grade level, and this is how we reduce the gaps between subgroups, as the Secretary lined out in his strategic plan. Now, the Secretary and the Governor have both found themselves stuck listening to one of my homilies, as you find yourselves now, and I'm happy to say that neither one of them changed the subject or even ran away. They have both made this a priority. We see it in the legislation, we see it in the Early Learns work groups, and we see it in the impressive cooperation already happening between Director Tanya Williams, her team, and the Department of Education. So again, Governor, thank you for allowing me to be a part of this time. I'm honored, I'm humbled, and I'm ready. So let's get to work.